bound only by frozen memories. Get away, get lost. Get away, it's hard. Get away, losing all these broken dreams in my mind.
Right, so welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to another epic podcast with your host, Tamim25. That's me, guys. That's me. I'm Tamim25, and welcome back to another podcast. That's right, we're back again. Another Friday, another podcast, another awesome show for you guys to get involved with. Now, if you guys have never joined the podcast before, it's simple. It's a little breakdown of week stories that I've been like, maybe we should talk about this. Maybe it'd be interesting. And then I get you guys your viewpoints either in the chat if you're watching us live, or if you're a guest on the show, as Mr. Exodus D is today, you get to post your opinions live with me and have a conversation about the issues around the particular topic we might be talking about. Also, obviously, before we start off, we've got to do a massive shout out to the sponsors. As always, big shout out goes out to them, because without them, this wouldn't be possible. Obviously, shout out goes out to Cinch Gaming, City Keys, not forgetting those infamous people over at Razor.com, and also not forgetting the T4 Army merch. If you guys want to snag yourself something awesome before the summertime finishes, you got one last chance coming up where you guys can snag yourself 15% off any tees in the goddamn store. So be sure to grab yourself something awesome before the summertime finishes. We've got some awesome designs coming out. One brand new line is being dropped for that 15% off tees promotion. So be sure to grab yourself something awesome from the store before it's too late. And also, not forgetting G2A.com over at Twitch.tv, keeping it lit, keeping it live with those AAA titles for you guys to be able to enjoy with a premium discount from your boy T4. And also not forgetting G4G and Streamlabs, keeping those donations lit live and streamlined straight to the bank account. If you guys have ever wanted to donate to the live stream, that's the way to do it. Follow the links to G4G or Streamlabs, and you guys will be able to donate to the stream. The funny thing is, I haven't done a stream or a podcast for about a week, and I really feel like a super noob because I've been away. I've just come back, and everything just seems so like, you know, I came back today, and we just unloaded, we just unpacked and stuff. We got some more bits to put in order, as it were, and literally, I'm just a bit like not quite there right now. So bear with me if you guys are like, T4 seems a little bit now with it. It's because I just literally came off vacation, and I was just like, dude, gotta do the podcast. So here we are. We're doing the podcast for you guys. Consistency is key. Anyhow, we got some awesome people up in the podcast today. We got the infamous Exodus D. What's up, Exodus?
Yo, what up, everybody?
So Exodus is joining us again on another week with another podcast. Crazy Holes 95 is in the Discord chat, but she hasn't joined the podcast guest list. So I'm not sure if she's going to be joining us momentarily, or she's not going to join us at all, or she's going to message us her views on Discord directly. I don't know, but we're about to find out. But we've got some awesome stories for you guys today. We've got some awesome lineup, some very, very interesting topics to talk about. Let me grab my my red book, which has got all the podcast topics in it. We got first coming up, we've got Kelly Marie Tran. If you guys don't know who Kelly Marie Tran is, she is the chick who played in Star Wars. She was the Chinese chick who played in Star Wars. And she got caught up in some controversy on Instagram, which we'll be talking about very shortly. Also, David Hogg got absolutely swatted. So that would be quite interesting. If you don't know who David Hogg is, he's one of the kids from the Parkland school shooting. Also, we have CrossFit in some controversy with the LGBTQ community. So they got caught up in some crap with them. And also, Mesa's Arizona police state brutality on Johnson. So we got some vicious police attacks on another day of the weekly podcast. And also, last but not least, we're going to be talking about Jake Paul getting dissed by 6ix9ine. That's right. Stick around for that show. We'll be here right now talking about all these epic topics. And if you guys want to jump in, give your opinion about any of the things that you hear in the podcast today, please be sure to drop your comments either in the chat, either on Twitch or on YouTube, and we'll be able to read those out live for you guys. So your opinions count as much as Exodus's and as much as mine. So be sure to join the conversation and get involved, so that way you feel like you're part of the show, because you are part of this show. You're the most important people that are part of this show. Anyways, Exodus. What has been happening with this week's crazy stuff? Did you hear about this Kelly Marie Tran issue? I'll talk to you about it. So you have a breakdown of what's been going on.
Alright.
So the BBC News reported on this, and it was Star Wars actress Kelly Marie Tran deletes Instagram post after abuse. So if you don't know who Kelly Tran is, this is who she is outside of her Star Wars outfit. Obviously, she looked a bit different from this in the actual film. So Star Wars actress Kelly Tran, who has suffered months of racist and sexist abuse on social media, has deleted all of her posts on Instagram. Tran started as mechanic turned resident fighter Rose Tico in 2017's The Last Jedi. If you guys haven't seen the film, go and see it. What's up, Denny's? Welcome to the stream. Thank you for joining us over the podcast. Sorry I didn't shout you out before. Denny's! Crown. First comment. First like. Smashes it. Also, obviously over at Twitch, we've got Decaf Smurf taking the crown over there. Thank you for joining us over there. But she experienced a fierce backlash from some fans who took aim at her ethnicity, and appearance. The film director Ryan Johnson has defended the star, apparently describing some fans as man babies. Interesting terminology. So these are some of the tweets that came out. So this was from Ryan Johnson. What we talk about when we talk about man babies. On social media, a few unhealthy people can cast a big shadow on the wall, but over the past 4 years, I've met lots of real fellow Star Wars fans. We like and dislike stuff, but we do it with humor, love, and respect, where the vast majority were having fun and doing just fine. So as a Vietnamese American, Tran was the first woman of color to play a lead role in the iconic series. Some have fiercely criticized her Star Wars character and directed her hate at Tran personally. So obviously a lot of people had issues. Hey, what's up? Bloodluster, welcome back to the stream, dude. Thanks for joining us. If you got anything you want to add to the conversation, please join us and drop a comment down below so we'll be able to shout out your comments. So basically, if you guys don't know about this, Kelly Tran, basically, she played a certain role in The Last Jedi, and basically that role is what people were criticizing her on, but it went from just criticizing the character that she was playing in The Last Jedi to actually targeting her directly. So this is where all this came from, this backlash. So she's got 203,000 followers, just a scratch off mine, my 126 million. No, it's not that much. So the online abuse. Okay, this is where the nitty-gritty comes down to. The Last Jedi, Rose joins the resistance movement after the First Order, a military dictatorship, destroys her home. She later sets out to work together with Finn, one of the film's male protagonists, to take on the First Order. In one of her now deleted Instagram post, she had spoken about her excitement at joining the franchise. I know how lucky I am to be part of something that people love, to be able to act and tell stories at all, she said. But shortly after the movie hit theaters in last December, Tran began receiving abusive comments from Star Wars fans. Rose Tico's character page on Wikipedia on an online Star Wars encyclopedia was changed so that she was renamed using a slur used to mock the East Asian accent. Right. U.S. internet personality Paul Ramsey also tweeted a photo of Tran making fun of her appearance. Others took aim at her ethnicity and appearance with numerous comments that were critically of her weight. What's up, Slokul? Welcome back, dude. For example, Jody Hauser said, I was lucky enough to meet Kelly Marie Tran briefly, and she was incredibly nice to a comics writer who may have been geeking out a bit too much. It's fine not to like fictional characters. It's not fine to harass actual human beings. So there's a lot of people coming to her support. There has been no confirmation from Tran as to why she vanished on Instagram, but her supporters are blaming cyberbullying and have been defending her online. There's been a lot of this. We've been talking about this on a week in, week out basis about online bullying and cyberbullying from various different people who have been hit by this backlash, depending on what they've been involved with. And this is another story of that kind. So I'm just trying to see if there's anything else I want to add to this before we move on to comments. Just reading some of the comments. It's no wonder she made the decision, says Sanjeev Idran, the president of Star Wars Malaysia fan club. It's sad that her life choices are presently being dictated by a horrible bunch of so-called Star Wars fans. There's been a lot of this. A lot of people have been trying to stick up for her for what happened. I can't remember what she said. There was something else. No, there's nothing else here. So that's the story. That's the insides. What is your takeaway from it? My takeaway, personally, is that there is no place for cyberbullying. I think people don't take it seriously enough, and people don't realize that it's being done to them. And I think sometimes when it's being done to somebody, it affects them a lot more than what people actually think. Like, sometimes people leave comments on my videos, and I'm just like, damn, dude, I thought we were cool. I thought we were friends. But hell no. The internet is ruthless because the person's not actually physically in front of you, so you can punch them in the face. So basically, you got to take that shit and somehow digest it and then get it out of your system before you turn up being suicidal or super angry. So this is where I think things become very, very difficult on social media. And I think with Instagram, it's quite a notorious place for people making comments about certain things and about people and about what they're like and not like. What's up, Apple Bad Apple? Brand new to the stream over at Twitch. Welcome. We've got 8 people. Oh, Ian Fusion's here as well. What's up, Ian? Welcome, dude. Right, so that's the story. Cyberbullying is no good, okay? Cyberbullying is bad. We gotta stomp this out. You know, people have to be aware. Just because there's a keyboard in front of them and they're not actually physically in front of the person, they shouldn't be so critical, I guess, of somebody. They should be more conscious that their words have massive impact on someone. And I mean, even to the point that, you know, she's trying to do something new. She's trying to change what she was like before. You know, starring a pretty big role in The Last Jedi. I mean, she was a prominent character. People would remember her from the film. And the fact that, you know, she had to delete her Instagram post just because of people. And the irony is that it's people who are actually fans of the Star Wars franchise. If it was just like normal people who don't actually have anything associated with Star Wars, or they don't even like Star Wars, full stop. It's not even that. It's people who actually like Star Wars. What's up, Commander Root? Welcome to Twitch, dude. Thank you for joining us. It's not even that. You know, it's people who actually are Star Wars fans, and they are making such a massive headache, I guess, for the Star Wars franchise, because it's always a few who shout really loud, and then the people who are trying to support someone to, you know, show their support to a franchise like Star Wars get shut down because, and it's ironically because it's of her ethnicity, you know, because of her appearance, you know, because she's a little bit chubbier than normal actresses would be. She's obviously Asian looking. You know, people are taking the piss because of that, and I think that's really, really bad. And I thought we were in a day and age where this kind of stuff didn't really happen that much, but it seems like some people just can't help themselves. So that's my takeaway. My takeaway is that it shouldn't happen. This kind of thing is really, really bad. I'm gonna ask Exodus D to either move away from that fucking fan or turn it off because that's all anyone is going to hear. They're just going to hear his goddamn fan. So I've muted his mic until I can hear no fan in the background. Exodus, would you like to say some words so I can just double check? People won't just hear this growling noise in the background. Hold on, he's left. And then he's gonna come back. He's muted himself, and that's better, kind of. Okay, so Exodus.
Yo.
That's a little bit better. Exodus is hot. It's 90 degrees in California at the moment. Dude is literally the fat is melting off the boy. Okay, so literally he's trying to keep that fat in by cooling it down. Okay, that's what's happening. So. He needs the fan on, but the fan is so close to the mic that I can hear it, literally. You know when you hear the fan whizzing, when it does that weird, like, Darth Vader sound? That's exactly what I can hear in the background. And Exodus is like, right now, he's on fire, literally, because I've made him turn it off. Sorry, Exodus, I'm sorry, but we need your opinion. Right, Exodus, what do you think about this whole thing? I mean, do you think that it's a bit of a shock that cyberbullying kind of exists to this degree from Star Wars fans? I mean, the thing is, they changed their focus. It started off, they were talking about the actual character she was playing, and then they moved the focus to the real person. It's like, for example, someone saying something about T4 or Tamim25 or my channel, which is not actually me. It's just a persona, I guess. The real me is still me. But then changing that focus and targeting me directly, I think then it becomes a different story. I can understand where she's coming from. But what do you think? I mean, do you think this is a bit... Isn't this a bit extreme that this is happening in this day and age?
I mean, it's always been extreme, but as the years go on, it's gotten worse and worse. And the only way to really stop it is to, like, I don't know, just the only way to really stop it is to, like, have, like, people just seeing, like, boys and stuff and, like, reporting the account or something. That's like the only way to really stop it.
But the thing is that she's been getting a lot of support, for what happened. It's not like she's been left for dead wood. People have been supporting her. There are fans who have been supporting her and encouraging her not to take the hate, as it were, to heart. But the thing is, I think it's very, very difficult because prior to this film, she wasn't really big anywhere else. And this film obviously, magnified her to stardom and propelled her into that limelight. And obviously in that limelight, you're going to get the criticism, like, for example, right now, I'm still a very small channel and I'm not going to get as much criticism as someone like that. But the thing is, I think when you get propelled into that limelight, sorry. I think you have to know how to take the punches with the blows, or the blows with the punches, whichever way around it goes. So the thing is, I think this happening, I just think when these issues come up, when we see this kind of stuff happening, does it make it become more acceptable to people to do this because it's happening anyway? Like, is there something that's causing this to happen? Is there something that's causing people to be able to say what they feel without the consequence of what they're saying?
I mean, it's never acceptable to bully anybody, but people are just gonna do it because they know that they can get away with it. Because a lot of people, like, their usernames usually aren't their real names, so they can get away with it, knowing that unless it goes to, like, the FBI or something, they're never gonna find out who it is.
I mean, the thing is, so the safety blanket of the internet, it's still there. People still feel that they can say what they feel and not have to deal with any consequence because of the safety of the internet. But is that necessarily true, though, Exodus?
I mean,
I mean, we hear about people. I mean, for example, like a little while ago, Demonic Princess was talking about in Discord about people getting pissed at her for modding in GTA and stuff. You know, and she's
Yeah.
knocking people offline and whatever, you know, and people are saying to her, you know, they're gonna knock her offline and all this shit. They're gonna report her and all that crap. But the thing is, that kind of people using that sort of threat.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can report somebody, but what real power do you really have to stop someone online from DMing you some random message or, you know, abusive messages and stuff?
You really don't have any power. It's just if they feel like doing it, they're gonna do it.
But how can that be policed? I mean, what could be put in place to make sure that? I mean, the thing is, every social media app has a reporting service, you know, and you know, you can either block someone's comment, you can delete someone's comment, you can hide their comment, you can, you know, ban them from commenting to you again or whatever it is. But there's no real actual consequence though to the people who are actually doing, you know, the bullying, like the cyberbullying, really, you know. And even if a social media app has got like something that says report this for bullying or report this as bullying content or whatever, you report it, but you never know what's actually happening. You know, like just banning someone from a chat or just not allowing them to talk to a specific person that they've abused or that person feels they've been abused. Just banning them, that doesn't take away their power. You know, it just makes them look for a new target. So
yeah,
I'm just trying to understand, like, what would be a good policing way? What would be a good way to kind of show people that, look, in real life, if you was to walk up to somebody and say these things, you'd get punched in the face. Just because it's on over a keyboard and over the internet doesn't mean you're not going to get punched in the face. It's just going to be in a different way. Sure, there should be something like that in place.
There should be, but it's just the only solution that I can really think of that's kind of similar to that in a way would be like doing like a IP ban or an IP block for that person
See, I agree with that. I think that would work really well. But I'm just thinking, like, how the problem with this topic is that how do you police that? You know, how do you know someone is not taking the, you know, like, how do you know someone's not abusing that thing that's happening? You know, like, you know, someone could just report somebody else just because they don't like what they said, but that doesn't necessarily come under cyberbullying. You know, how is that going to be policed? How could that be policed to say, oh yeah, this is actually, you know, this is a mean comment or this is actually bullying? You know, because mean comments is mean comments. Someone could just say, oh, you're fat. You know, that doesn't mean that's not bullying. You know, because it could be true. You could be fat or you could be skinny. You know, but in when people say stuff like, you know, you're fat and you should die, that's a little bit different.
That's a different story.
You know, that's a different thing. So that's where I'm trying to understand, like, how could it be policed in such a way? Because otherwise people will just send reports all the time. People will be like, you know, oh, you know, I feel abused. I feel cyberbullied by this person. They must be stopped at all costs.
Conversation with people.
Yeah, because I mean, I think IP banning is it's quite a severe thing. I mean, it's no walk for the park, you know. Because it stops you from communicating to the outside world through the internet through your local area network, which is quite, you know, that's quite a big thing. So you know, I mean, how could that be policed? How could that be you know, monitored to make sure, one, it was effective, and two, it wasn't being abused?
There is, well, the thing is, since like if this is like a thing where like someone would bully you in your town, then you can just call the cops on it. But since the internet's available to pretty much everybody around the world, it's hard to tell, like, one, where they are, and two, how to deal with it.
I mean, and not
So
only
it's
that,
just a matter.
I mean, not only that, different countries have different laws as well with,
Yeah, with bullying.
you know, like what's allowed and what's not allowed as well, isn't it? You know, like some countries are more
Yeah.
lenient, other countries are more severe with their punishment. But I don't, you know, it's a very difficult thing. But I just think like I mean, personally, I just think when this kind of stuff happens to someone who is in the limelight like she is, I find that it gives other people like an opportunity to like say, oh, look, she's getting it done, you know, it's fine, like it's not a big deal, you know. We like, for like the normal people, as it were, like the no ones, as I call it, you know, they're like, we got another one, you know.
Yeah.
We got another one to delete
They
their
feel like
post, you know.
accomplished.
You know what I mean, like, you know, I'm just
Yeah.
like, you know, like, what is the mindset behind those people who are there? What are they doing? What is the life that bad that they need to do things like that, or is life that terrible, or is, you know, because obviously to take your time out to comment, even on the chat, or even on the podcast, you know, for someone to even type a comment as what they're thinking about the topic that we're talking about, if they want to add something or not. You know, a lot of people won't add anything. A lot of people won't even type a comment down to say that this is what I feel about this thing, because they can't be bothered. So for someone to then go out their way to comment on someone else's post, and then the post gets taken down, that takes some effort, you know. That takes a little bit of, you know. So I'm just trying to understand, like, where does that come from? Like, where does that mentality come from that people were like, yeah, you know what? Today's the day, okay? Today is the day. We're going to follow this from A to Z. Where does that come from, do you think, Exodus?
Probably people that are just, like, really bored and don't really have much to do, so they figure if they report something, they'll give them something to do for a little while and not be as bored.
I mean, do you think it's just boredom? It's nothing more than that?
I mean, I don't think it's just boredom, but I think boredom is at least one of the reasons.
So people are bored, or they're living boring lives? What is it?
Probably just being bored at, like, during the moment that they're doing it. Like, they probably are like stuck doing homework, but they don't want to do it or something.
Yeah, no, fair enough. But the thing is it really just really, really young people, do you think? Or do you think it could be some more vicious older people?
It could be a mixture of both.
That's what I'm thinking. I don't know. I think sometimes because the more younger the person is, the more childish I find the comments would be. But the older they are, the more sort of refined the comments can be, to be more sort of like impactful on the person, to make them actually delete their actual post. Is there anything else you want to add about this this particular incident that happened with Kelly Marie Tran?
No.
What about cyberbullying in general, or even bullying? To be honest, because we spoke about bullying before in quite in depth on the channel.
We have, yeah.
And I'm just shocked, you know, by when I see these different topics, and I think the more that, you know, even big channels, smaller channels, the more that they bring this up and talk about these incidences that come up, the more people become aware that, you know, they say sticks and stones. Sticks and stones may break my bones, but words can never hurt me. But I don't think that's true. You know, I think words can hurt, and I think everyone needs to be more aware that, you know, there should be this level of understanding that that your words will affect someone somewhere, and we should be conscious of that. You know, so I don't know. I'm just a bit like, I just can't believe we're talking about this again, you know. It just seems to be really cynical that this keeps happening, you know. Every single week, there's always a topic I find which is to do with some sort of bullying from somewhere, you know.
Somewhere. Somehow.
Right, anyway, if you guys are watching us live, or if you're watching us on playback, please be sure to drop your comments down below. We'll be sure to read them out in the chat if you're watching us live, and if you're watching us on playback, type them anyway. We'd love to hear your opinions and what you guys have to say about any of the topics that you hear us discuss on today's podcast. Moving on, we're gonna move on to the next topic as me and Exodus have picked our brains deep enough. We're moving over to the Parkland teenager David Hogg, everybody. I'm telling you, this kid's name has been picked out of a hat, okay? Because, you know, it's like one of those names that you hear and you think you should be a movie star or a politician, you know? And he talks with that furiosity as well. So this was also reported by BBC News. And this is to do with David Hogg. If you guys don't know who David Hogg is, he is a Parkland school shooting survivor. So I'll just read this quick little story for you guys, and then we'll jump in deep dive on the actual information that there is here. I've muted your mic, Exodus, so you're free to put your fan right up to your face again and not keep melting. So Parkland teenager David Hogg swatted in prank call, everybody. That's right. Who would have thought in this day and age, huh? Who would have thought it? So student gun control activist David Hogg has been the victim of a prank call that saw armed police raid his Florida home. Not far from you, young Exodus. Broward Sheriff's Office said officers were sent to the 17-year-old's parents' home after a report of a hostage situation on Tuesday morning. David, who is out of state, called the incident a distraction. It comes a day after he and other students activists announced a nationwide tour. I mean, they turned this into an absolute facade anyway, this fucking Parkland shooting thing anyway. But anyway, David has become a leader of a youth-led movement for gun control after a shooting that claimed 17 lives at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School in Parkland, Florida on 14th of February. Speaking to Florida's local 10 news stations on Tuesday, he said, "I think it's really a distraction from what we're trying to fix here, which is the massive gun violence epidemic in this country." Spoken like a real, true politician. I'm sure one day he'll be the president of the United States. You may also, it was put here, he and his mother are currently in Washington, D.C., where he has accepted a human rights award. Congratulations, David. You're amazing. Also, the hoax call, which claims someone was holding the Hoggs hostage in their home, was made at 8:39 local time on Tuesday. Armed police arrived at the property and soon determined nobody was home. The Broward County Sheriff's Office said the call led to lockdowns at 2 nearby primary schools, CBS Miami reports. Holy shit. I mean, what a phone call, right? What a phone call. And authorities say swatting, making prank calls to emergency services to deploy a SWAT team, has gone up in popularity. In December last year, 28-year-old Kansas man was inadvertently shot dead by a heavily armed police until that he had been sent to his home by a prank call about a hostage situation. David and other survivors of the February school shooting have formed a pro-gun control advocacy group called Never Again, MSD. Since February's school's massacre. On Monday, the students' activists unveiled plans for a nationwide tour before November's U.S. midterm elections. That's pretty much everything else. There's nothing else. Everything else is just gibbery goo, which we don't really need to read. So, David Hogg, everybody, your favorite president. I mean, your favorite high school student shooting survivor. Okay, he's back in the news, and this time for being swatted. I mean, the thing is, I don't know about you, Exodus, okay, or any of you guys who are watching us live or watching us on playback, but I just find swatting so interesting. You know, how someone can sit back, you know, in the comfort of their own home, and say, you know what, today is the day. Okay, today's the day that this person, I'm gonna pretend to send police round their house because I don't like them. You know, I'm gonna waste police time when they could be out saving someone, or there might be an actual emergency. But instead, I'm gonna pretend that it's happening somewhere else, so that they will go there and just waste time. I mean, the thing is, some of these prank calls have turned into real life situations where people have actually died. Like one man actually did get shot uh, from a prank call, from a swatting event. But I mean, that incident happened when swatting was very new. So obviously, officers didn't realize that this shit was real. But now officers are a little bit more clued up that, you know, they shouldn't just run in guns blazing. You know, shoot now, ask questions later. You know, they shouldn't do it. But this is quite I mean, the incident, it being around David Hogg, is not really much of a thing. I mean, he was saying that this has happened to take the kind of eye off the target, that they're trying to do this thing and they're trying to do their movement, which I don't see how that would take the eye off the target, because personally, there's no such thing as bad press. What do you think, Exodus? There's no such thing as bad press, right?
All press is good press.
All press is good press over here. So, you know, this happening conveniently at the time when he's going to be promoting some fucking tour of them going around yapping away on a mic, like me. But it's a tour, though. There's any difference. They actually come to your home counties and your home states. You know, good luck, everyone. But, you know, I don't see how that would take the heat of anything. I don't know how that could be described as a distraction. You know, surely I would be like, dude, well done for doing it, because now the major news media are going to be on this shit. And it's a swatting thing, so gun related. And, you know, it's bringing heat, you know, media attention to their cause anyway. You know, I mean, it gives him a platform to speak from. That's the way I'm looking at it. You know, I'm just thinking, is this an in-house thing? You know, is this like, you know, yo, dude, I think you should do this thing from a payphone, and then we'll see what happens. If anything happens, it happens. If it doesn't happen, hey, no one loses. But if something happens, everybody wins. Everyone knows you're going to be doing a tour, and loads of people will be talking about it, including yours truly, T4. So that's what I see. That, you know, when I look at these kind of things, this is the kind of takeaway I get from it. This is what I digest when I look at these stories. I just think, are you sure you didn't actually want this attention? Because this is actually really good press you're getting. This is helping your cause. I mean, that's my takeaway. That's what I think. What do you guys think? Let me know what you think in the comments down below, whether you're watching us live and whether you're watching us on playback. Young Exodus, what do you think about this? Is this like a... Was this done on purpose, you think? Or am I reading too much in between the lines?
I mean, no, I feel like since it happened at such a weird time, and like, if this would have happened like right after the shooting happened, then fine, that probably would have been legit. But since it's been what, 4 or 5 months since the shooting, like I feel like it's planned too.
Well, the thing is, like, that they
like literally like hearing it, I'm like, this has to be planned somehow. This has to be a way for someone on the team to get into the news.
Exactly. I mean, because that MSD thing, it's not been like you know, March for Our Lives. That thing hasn't even been. No one's even been talking about it since then. You know, I haven't seen it appear in any news media outlets or anything like that. I didn't even know they were going to be on a tour. Did you know they were on a tour? You're in America, dude. Did you even know they were going to go on tour?
No, I did not whatsoever.
See, you didn't even know they were going to go on tour. So I'm just thinking,
and
dude,
I'm American. That's bad.
You're America, so you should know this shit, right? So the thing is,
sure.
I mean, the thing is, if they're going on,
that's how irrelevant they are.
There you go, Jake Paul all over again. But all I'm saying, right, is all I'm saying, right, is if you're going on tour to talk about gun control, gun reform in America, surely the media would be talking about the fact that you're going on this tour, but they don't give a shit. Your story is irrelevant. Your passion for change is not everybody's cup of tea, because everyone in America wants to hold their rights to their guns. No one wants to give that shit up. Okay, that'd be suicide. So the thing is, this happening at this crucial time when they're going to be planning to do the state tour, as it were, the tour of the whole of the country, is a bit ironic, to bring some heat, to bring some attention to the actual thing that they're actually trying to promote by creating some other false flag thing and then getting some free press from it. Surely that's what they've done, Exodus, right? That's what they've done.
Obviously, yeah.
But the thing is, the second thing, obviously, that I want to take away from this is not even about David Hogg. It's about swatting in general.
Okay.
I think we've talked about people being swatted. We've talked about swatting in the past on this channel, and it's not a good thing, kids. Okay, if you're sitting at home and you're holding your phone in your hand and you're thinking, there's nothing on the telly. There's nothing on that goddamn screen. I got no games to play. I haven't got a PS4. This is Exodus all over again. And I don't have any access to anything else that would make me not do the next thing I'm going to do. And I'm going to end up calling the friggin' sheriff's office to have them send some SWAT team to some random person's house who I don't like because they've got a better life than me, or they are more popular than me, or whatever it is, the fucking reason is.
Yeah.
There should be a consequence for that.
There should be,
Okay.
yeah.
I think irrelevant of what's happening, I think there should be some way. The fact that even till today they cannot trace a friggin' payphone, okay, is a joke. If you pick up your house phone, or if you pick up your mobile, like your cell phone, and you make a call from that phone, either a house phone or a cell phone or a mobile in England, we call them mobile phones, you would be traceable. That call would be traced back to where the last location of that call was made. You do it from a payphone, and they don't know where you made the call from. What the hell, Exodus?
That seems
isn't that just stupid?
That is. That's us.
And not only that, right? Okay, the swatting happened with David Hogg, but they didn't even find out who even did it. They couldn't even trace who made the call, where they made the call from, whether it was the same state, a different state, God knows where. Because the thing is, we're talking about maybe, they've put this on to create some, get some attention on their cause. But really, it would be even easier for this to be found out, whether this is the case or isn't the case, if they just was able to trace the call. Surely, Exodus.
They should be able to, if it's like the police and stuff, and it goes on to the SWAT team. There's got to be somebody, and there's got to be someone in one of those two places that could trace the call. Like, I don't understand.
I don't understand, dude. I don't understand. So, I mean, the thing is, the simple thing here is that, I condone swatting. I mean, I don't condone swatting, okay? It's not a good thing. It's a bad thing, okay? And
Very bad.
I think seriously, I mean, on a serious note, I think that, if someone is caught for swatting, if someone gets caught,
there should be some sort of jail time, yeah.
I think irrelevant of the age, I think they should face jail time, definitely. Because
for sure, yeah.
There's a potential out there of
That's
someone seriously getting hurt. Yeah. Well, filing a false report, one, but two, the police could accidentally shoot someone, harm somebody, arrest someone, falsely arrest somebody because of poor information, and it's abuse of public services. Because
Yeah.
obviously we rely heavily, really heavily on those guys who wear those uniforms, who have those badges on, who are there to protect and serve, who try and do a good job, and then this shit happens, and then they wonder why the hell people don't trust the cops.
Yeah.
This is what happens. So I just think, like, when I really would love a story I really want to be able to touch on, a story I really want to be able to talk about on this channel, on the podcast, is a story of a swatter getting caught and going to jail. That's a story I really want to talk about.
There actually was.
Oh, was there?
Yeah, when that guy in Kansas died, they found out who did it and they arrested him.
You're right. But we weren't doing the podcast then, so we need a fresh story. We need a fresh one. So if anyone out there fancies swatting someone, do it from your cell phone or from your house phone so you can be traced. So we can talk about you in the podcast. That'd be great.
Please.
Anyhow,
if you guys want to be famous on the channel,
you'd be famous, dude. You'd be famous. For the wrong reasons, but you'll be famous. Douchebag of the week, will call you. Don't worry. Exodus, is there anything else you want to add to swatting? Is there anything else you want to tell the people before we move on?
Don't ever swat people. You could kill somebody or get someone seriously injured.
Don't take drugs and don't swat. Just say no.
Just drink alcohol.
Just drink, people. God damn it. Just drink. Right. Anyway, if you guys are watching us live or you're watching us on playback, please be sure to drop your comments down below. We'd love to read them live if it's relevant to the topic. Or if you're watching us on playback, drop them anyway. I might give you a thumbs up with a love heart from my emoji. It's worth it. You know it is. Anyhow, let's move on to the next story. The next story is to do with the LGBTQ community. Try and say that 5 times in a row super fast. Try it. It's not easy.
Nope.
So basically, there's a company out there. It's a gym company. Exodus is trying it. There's a company out there, a gym company called Crossfit. So CrossFit got caught up in some serious controversy with rights to the LGBTQ community. Okay, and this is the breakdown. This is the story. This is the meat that you need to consume in order to know the full story. Okay, and this is from CNBC. Great people, never fake news. CrossFit gym chain caught up in LGBTQ rights controversy, religious friction. CrossFit has built an exercise empire of more than 13,000 locations around the world. One of its employees was fired on Wednesday for tweeting support of an affiliate owner in Indianapolis. I don't know how you say that. How do you say that, Exodus? Say that in Indianapolis? I don't know. Who cancelled? Anyway, it's an area, Indiana. Who cancelled an LGBTQ pride workout at his gym. CrossFit founder and CEO Greg Glassman called the events appalling and said the whole company is upset. The Indianapolis, that's how you say Indianapolis, a bit like Superman. The Indianapolis gym, CrossFit Infiltrate, yep, announced its closing. It's because I can't see the screen. It's quite small writing over here. So CrossFit, the fitness company that has developed an cult-like devotion around its outspoken founder and CEO Greg Glassman, is under scrutiny after an affiliated gym in Indianapolis, CrossFit Infiltrate, was instructed by its local owner to cancel the LGBTQ Pride workout. CrossFit has more than 13,000 affiliates gym over 120 countries worldwide. CrossFit infiltrates Pride Month workout was one of hundreds scheduled to take place across the country this month. During the last week of May, CrossFit infiltrates managers and coaches created a Pride workout event and publicized it on the gym's Instagram and Facebook accounts. The workout was scheduled for Thursday. On June the 1st, less than a week before the workout event, members received an email from Johnny Martin, the gym's manager, saying director and owner Brandon Lau had decided to cancel the Pride event. It said, our underlying goal for the staff and members at CrossFit and our... Oh, hold on, let me read this properly. Wait 1 second. So the Pride event, it read, our underlying goal for the staff and members of CrossFit, members at CrossFit and our other gyms, CrossFit White, River, and University Avenue CrossFit, is total health and well-being for the individual and community. Total health involves the body, the emotions, the relationships, and the spirit. At the foundational director from health, as we believe God sets the parameters for his pride. We believe that true health forever can only be found within humility, not pride. Humility is seeing oneself as they truly are, and God truly defines them to be. As a business, we will choose to deploy our resources towards those efforts and cause that line up with our own values and beliefs. On Sunday, June the 3rd, Pride workout organizer and CrossFit gym members Ryan Nix posted a call to action on Facebook. This is what he said. Last week, we received an email from a gym canceling our Pride workout. We emailed the owner since it seemed that there was an issue with people who may be gay, LGBTQ. You may see from his response there is since this time the coaches and general managers have all quit. This is all from the owners of the gym. Many of us are leaving the gym due to the owners. Please tell your friends not to join this place. In his response to Nick's post, several members quit and emailed Lowe to express their concerns over the event's cancellation. This is what they said. The unfortunate line that is being read about the gym grossly misrepresents what CrossFit Infiltrate stands for and what it believes. The majority of the reviews and statements being read about the gym largely point out the Infiltrates community has been incredibly and welcoming, and that the decisions not to host the Indie Pride event is the reason we are called bigots and discriminative. However, let the history of the gym speak for itself, and for the positions we take in this divisive atmosphere. CrossFit Infiltrate welcomes, serves, and prioritizes training people to be fit and functional in the body, the mind, and spirit. It never has and never will be anything but welcoming to all human beings who live, move, and breathe in God's world. I can't keep reading this. This is just turning really stupid now. Anyhow, that is the meat that you need to consume. That's the information that you need. You don't need to consume more than that. You can if you want to. The links are in the description down below if you want to watch, if you want to read any of these articles in full. But that's all we really need. We don't really need anything else except for what's being said. So as you can tell, CrossFit got caught up in some major crap. There's 2 groups in the world that you cannot target. Maybe 3. I'm not 100% on the third one. The third one gets a lot of hate and generally doesn't get out of that. But there is 2 main ones that you just cannot go after and think you'll get away with. The first one is the gay community, okay? LGBTQ, okay? You can't. One thing you do wrong, even though they're a minority, they will attack back. Second group is the Jews. You can't talk about the Jews. Talk about the Jews, you're dead. Simple as that. So, the third one I was going to say is the Muslims. But the Muslims nowadays, you know, people say what the freak they like, and people will say, it's kind of true. So we just have to just accept it as Muslims. So that's why I was like, the third one's not really, you know, they're kind of like fucked now. So, anyhows, we'll move on from that point. So the real thing, the takeaway I had from this this article, was when the hell did it become anyone's business whether actually, is any pictures down here? No, there isn't. Whether it's anyone's business whether a gym allows gay people in, doesn't allow gay people in, lets them have a gay pride event, doesn't let them have a gay pride event. The main issues around this is not the fact that they have gay users, because the gym obviously has got gay users or LGBTQ. When I say that, I mean them, okay? When I say gay, I mean LGBTQ, because I can't keep saying it. It's just ridiculous. Actually, let me see if I can. Can you make that into a word? Lugabutk. 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 Yeah. Lugabutk. I think that's actually harder to say. Anyhow, I don't think, okay, that there is any need for these guys to even be criticized for what they've done, because the problem is that they made this group, okay, they made this workout for gay pride, and then they decided they're not going to have it because the owner is a godly man. He thinks about God. So, to be honest with you, I would have squared it up with the manager first to make sure that he's cool with it. I wouldn't have just gone ahead and just said, you know what, forget him. Yeah, he may own the gym, but damn, it's 2018. Get over it. Men stick their dick in the other men, and girls are scissoring. And then there is those that are in between. One is banging women in a man form, but looks like a woman, and the other one is completely trying to get the dick cut off. What's wrong with that? So that's basically what the problem is. So from what I understand, CrossFit, the owner, he is a religious guy, Christian. I'm pretty adamant he is, and he doesn't want gay people doing their little thing in his gym. Fine. But the irony in that is that they already had gay members, even to the extent that some of their trainers were gay as well. So it makes absolutely no sense why you want to create this kind of press. And this is bad press, because this isn't good press. This is the kind of press that will end your business. Guaranteed. So, in that respect, I don't really understand why they even had this event on in the first place. But at the same time, this is the devil's advocate bit. You know, I don't even know why they would then, after they've announced it, then try and cancel it for those reasons. It just won't work. People aren't going to be happy, especially in that community, because they already feel. I mean, there is still, you know, there is already like the issues with suicide rates in that community. There's already, you know, they're already discriminated against and we have some people on the channel who are also part of that community, and they talk a lot openly to me about how they are discriminated on a daily basis and what have you, and blah blah blah. And I just think once you've made an announcement, you just have to roll with it. It's like if I decided to do a gay day, maybe do a LGBTQ live stream, and have pink hair and a pink background here or something. I don't know. I couldn't announce that I was doing that, and then, oh, actually, I'm Muslim, so I can't do it. You just got to roll with it. Then you've made the announcement. You just got to do it. It's just one day. Just deal with it. So I just think it was bad call from them, but at the same time, on the same principle, there are some religious settings that don't allow people from that community to enter their premises or to use their premises, because they believe that God doesn't allow Adam and Steve, only Adam and Eve. I'm just saying, that's what they say. So in that respects, I think it's only right to make it fair that people respect either or. So I think if a gym chose to say that, oh, they don't want this kind of person in their gym, that's up to them. That's their business. They choose to do what they want to do. I'm sure there's plenty of other gyms you can go to. Not my fault. They have a 2-for-1 promotion, and that is cheaper than any other gym. But it's just what you see. It's just how it is. So I think in that respect, it's a very fine line that we're walking across. And I think for CrossFit, because it's such a big company, global company, over 120 countries, it's not the best look for one of their branches to have this kind of heat coming onto them, because they've got a problem with gay people or trans people. So I think that this is where it boils down to, and just for your guys is information. Those are the 2 or 3 you should never ever talk about: the gays, the Jews, and the Muslims. Those 3, they'll get you into a lot of trouble. Either way, it could be good or bad, but just don't go there. So that's the story. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments down below. Let me know what you guys think, whether you're watching us live or whether you're watching us on playback. Let me know what you're thinking. I'd love to read those comments, whether you're typing them live or whether you're typing them after watching the playback. It's completely up to you, but just make sure the comments are relevant to the topic. We've lost, T4, I'm talking to my mom about my new job. So Exodus has had to leave the chat for a moment. He's on the phone to his mom, talking about his new job. Congratulations, Exodus. Maybe we'll talk about your new job afterwards as well. Exodus was looking for a job, and he's got one now. So maybe soon he'll have a PS4. We'll have to wait and see. So while Exodus is doing his business, I'm sure he'll jump in and do his little chit chat in a moment. But let me know what you guys are thinking either way. We'll move on from this topic to the next story, which is the stories get juicy and juicy as we go along. If you see how I do my podcasts, I generally do them like this every week, so that if you listen from the beginning to the end, at the end it's like it's the best. So let's move on. So the next story is about Mesa, Arizona Police Department. This particular police department has been on the news more times for their heavy-handedness than any other police force that I've heard of in America. They are seriously bad, to the degree that they will let themselves. Let me just check. This is not muted. No, it's not. Oh, I've got to turn this volume up. This is all the way down. To the extent, all the way up. That's it. To the extent that they basically beat people just because they won't listen. Not that they do anything wrong, just because they won't listen. So I've got a video to play for you guys. Have a little listen to this. Make sure you turn up your headphones if you're watching us on using headphones. If you've got your speakers on, maybe you might want to turn it down because this might blow your ears away. So have a little listen to this. This is quite interesting.
Call.
Grab a seat.
While the suspect they were looking for complies with an order to sit, Johnson is asked several times and appears not.
The police in Mesa, Arizona released body camera video showing what led 4 officers to beat a man into submission. We warn you this video is graphic. The incident has ignited protests in the Phoenix suburb. The man who was beaten spoke to reporters today, and Jamie Yukas has our updates.
I'm a family man. I'm a God-fearing person.
Robert Johnson says he's still replaying the May 23rd incident over in his mind.
I want Mesa to be held accountable for what they have done. Hello?
Newly released body cam video shows the moment when 4 Mesa police officers and a sergeant first confronted Johnson.
Have a seat. Guess what? I ain't gonna ask you again. Have a seat.
They were responding to a domestic disturbance call.
Grab a seat.
While the suspect they were looking for complies with an order to sit, Johnson is asked several times and appears not to comply. This is what happens next.
Sit down. Sit down. Sit down. Sit down.
Johnson, who is unarmed, takes several blows to the head and is rammed into an elevator door. After being handcuffed, he can be heard swearing at officers.
You feel good putting your hands on me while I'm subdued? How the are you, huh? Huh?
At one point, police indicate he's spitting at them and get him a mask.
How pretty are you?
Don't start that. Don't you dare try to. You're trying to spit on me.
The officers are on paid leave. The Mesa Police Union says there's been a rush to judgment, but one use of force expert disagrees.
I think this is a rather clear-cut case of unreasonable force. It's remarkable how passive the suspect remains, being punched in the face repeatedly, and then goes down to the ground.
Jamie, you were just in that press conference. The Mesa Police Department does have a history here. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, Jeff, there are a number of cases that have made national headlines when it comes to excessive force, especially one that's being reviewed now by the Department of Justice, where an officer shot and killed an unarmed man who was begging for his life, and that was caught on camera. Now, I can tell you that that officer was acquitted on murder charges last year, and that's when feds picked up the case.
All right, Jamie Yukas following the case in Mesa, Arizona tonight. Jamie, thanks.
We begin with a non-stop tribute.
So that is the story. That is the meat that you need to consume. Welcome back, Electric Longboard, to the Twitch stream. Thank you for joining us today on the podcast. So as you clearly saw, the Mesa police are not the force to be reckoned with. They have had case after case about this kind of brutality, police brutality. Really, I mean. You saw the guy, he didn't even do shit. He wasn't even trying anything. He just literally was going about his... He wasn't even the suspect they were looking for. He was just like a bystander. They found the guy they were looking to apprehend who actually complied. And then he was taken down. The other guy was just for being there and not complying with police requests, which is insane. I mean, the physical beating that he took to the face is just ridiculous. And I just think, even when that news report touched on at the end about another officer being acquitted of shooting someone, it's just ridiculous. I just find sometimes we talk in one sense like the police are there to protect us, keep the peace, all the rest of it. But in the same instance, you see like some police forces are seriously over the top with the kind of force they demonstrate. It's like literally, if you do not comply, you will die today. And I just think that is really, really bad. And I mean, the thing that shocked me the most about this particular story was that there was so. How do you set up? Oh, yeah, that's not in the chat. This is in a different chat. I just find it really, really sickening. How police officers can actually do this sort of stuff and get away with it. You know, on it happens so much that I just find it a bit demoralizing to protect the police and to show their support to them, really, when this kind of stuff happens on a daily basis. And what was really ironic with this particular incident is that's really weird. I've paused that woman's face in the most bizarre place ever. She's just winking with one eye. Clip it. But what's really interesting with this story is how the other guy that complied was more sort of whiter in skin, and the other guy was obviously African American, and he's the one that they decided to exert the physical abuse on. And I just think that this is becoming a bit of a commonality with in America with especially with the police force, that there is still this tension of black crime in the sense that police brutality is focused on those that are of colored skin, especially those who are the African American skin color. So I just think it's really bad. I just had to touch on this story because I think it's really, really important that in this day and age, people are aware that if you see incidences like this happening, as a citizen, you have a right to stand by another citizen who you feel is being mistreated or being not treated in the correct way, or you feel that they're being harshly treated. And I think a lot of people are scared to do that because they worry that they will get in trouble or whatever, but you can't get in trouble for doing nothing wrong. And I think this is one of those incidences where, if there was, bystanders, I would hope that they would get involved and actually, tell the police that they're going a little bit extreme. And I can tell you right now, those police officers would have been like, "Do you want to get arrested too, or do you want to move on?" You know, it's like that kind of attitude, and I think that's what's really, really bad with this kind of story that's happening. And Mesa, if you're ever in that area in Arizona, just drive through the state, okay? Just exit the state. And this police force has been getting so much heat now. There is some additional bit I can actually talk to you about, give you a bit more in depth about what's happening with this. The Department of Justice is already reviewing a different excessive use of force case by the MPD when an unarmed man was shot and killed by an officer. That officer was acquitted of murder charges last year, and that's when the government took over the case. So that case is now pending and ongoing, and hopefully there's a good outcome on that side. Exodus, what did you think about, before we talk about this particular topic, what did you think about the CrossFit incident? Did you listen to the podcast when we were talking about that?
Kind of, yeah. I was mainly trying to focus on, but I thought that the way they were being like fucked up to the homosexuals, which is really just not good for the company. They should everybody should be equal, but they're like, no. You not equal.
That's the thing I was saying. I mean, do you think that they should, once they had gone ahead to have this Pride event, they should have just gone with it? They shouldn't be changing what they feel that they feel. If they feel that way, they shouldn't put this event on in the first place. They should have seeked higher management, what they feel about whatever it is before putting it out on Facebook and Instagram, and then realizing that, oh, actually, management doesn't want us to do this shit.
They should have, if they knew that that's not what their viewpoints were, then they should have just left the. If they should have just continued on with what they're doing. They shouldn't have never said that they were having a special event and then like we can't do it because all the homosexuals. Like they should have just kept on doing what they were doing, just doing the normal CrossFit shit.
And I mean, the other thing as well is with that particular topic. Do you think that companies should have the right to refuse access to certain, communities of people because of their personal preference or choice in their policies or whatever?
They shouldn't, because everybody should be just as equal as me and you would be just in normal world. Like they shouldn't exclude people.
But what about if people? I mean, what about if people are religious? Like, for example, if say, I don't know, just for argument's sake, a church, they would be. There would be a bit more resilient to letting gay people into their premises. So, how does that work?
I don't know. I'm not really religious myself, so I don't know.
No, but in the sense of, would you say like a church should let gay people in?
Yeah.
You do?
Well, yeah, because I've been to like Christian and Catholic churches where I've seen dozens of gay people, and they didn't really do anything. They kind of just went on with the service.
Okay, fair enough. Okay, that's good to hear. And what did you think about this Mesa incident? I mean, obviously, I'll give you my takeaway from it. What's your takeaway from the Mesa, Arizona police state?
The police are getting really power hungry a lot lately. Like they'll just beat down anybody for anything.
I mean, literally, it's turning into GTA5, but in real life. Sometimes I feel.
Pretty much, yeah.
I'm just thinking maybe the cops are playing GTA and thinking.
You up they probably are.
I just
they're
think
probably all playing GTA Online in the free time and see how the cops act. They're like, okay, let's do that.
But I'm just thinking like maybe they're playing GTA Online in the police academies now. Like where they're trained to become officers of the law, and that's the training manual that they're using. And I just don't think they're getting the idea that that's a game, and in real life it doesn't work that way.
I mean that's how it seems like.
I mean, the blows this guy took to the face, and he wasn't even a suspect. This is the bizarre thing. They weren't even looking for this guy. They already apprehended the guy who they were looking for, who was called for a domestic, and he complied. This guy was just a bystander. He was just there minding his own business, and they were telling him to follow instructions, and he was like, why the fuck, I ain't done nothing wrong, why the hell are you guys even talking to me? And I'm just thinking, is there the police brutality on the African American race is still like it still seems quite prominent.
It is, yeah.
It's terrible. Because the guy that they actually apprehended, who was actually the guy who they were looking for, was like more white in color, and this guy was obviously African American, the guy that they beat up. And I just think, dude, why are you trying to provoke crap that doesn't even exist? Why? What are they trying to prove, Exodus?
That they have power, and they still have power. I don't know.
But the thing is that the irony is that the police are there to preserve the peace, and what was the other thing? They're there to preserve the peace and protect the people, right? Preserve the peace and protect the people. How the hell are they protecting the people right there and preserving
when you're
the peace?
literally hurting them? You're literally beating the fuck out of them, and you're like, we're here to protect you. Then why you beat an innocent man?
I mean, what? I mean, the thing is, if they, this particular police state has actually been under investigation for an officer who shot an unarmed man. If you guys remember, we talked about this in the podcast previously. It was the two people who came out of the hotel room, and the officer was giving out so many instructions to the individual, and the guy was like, you know, begging for his life and saying like, I've got kids and all this shit, and then the officer opened fire on him for not following the instructions precisely as he was being instructed, and it was actually acquitted, but then the government have taken over the case because they feel that justice hasn't been given. If these guys are found to be guilty of doing the same sort of thing, what do you think their punishment should be, Exodus?
Stripped of any police rank they have, and at least 20 to 30 years.
Jesus. Right, Exodus.
That's at least.
Judge.
That's at least.
Judge. Least, dude. Least. Judge, jury, and executionist, okay? There it is from Exodus D. Is there anything else you wanted to add to Exodus before we move on to the last and final topic?
Fuck police brutality.
Stop police brutality. Hashtag that shit. Stop police brutality. Right. Last but not least, we got the most comedic topic of them all. That's right. Jake Paul, everybody. What is it? Irrelevant YouTuber. That's right. The
very much so.
The guy that no one even knows who he is. And he got super dissed this week from your boy 6ix9ine. That's right. Rejects Jake Paul. That's what happened. It was absolutely hilarious. If you guys haven't seen this, get ready to laugh your head off. So this particular video is 1 minute and 26 seconds long. I've fast forwarded it to 39 seconds in, where in a moment when I press play, you're gonna see Jake Paul's name pop up on the screen, and I'm gonna read out what he's typing, and then I'm gonna leave 6ix9ine to tell you what he feels about Jake Paul. That's right.
Hell yeah.
And then when he's finished, we'll have a discussion about the irrelevant. I mean, this is really just a very quick topic, to be honest with you. I just added 5. We only normally do 4, but this is such a quick thing. It's just so funny. I just thought this was something just light-hearted to add after the man being beaten down by the police. So let's have a little listen to this.
Where the shot? Jake Paul at me in there. Nah, cause you mad right now. I don't want to be on live. I don't want to be on live with somebody that's mad right now.
Screaming and shit.
I don't want you screaming and shit, trying to defend yourself. I'm chilling right now. I'll call you.
Hey yo, you know what? He did. And shout out to Iman Shumpert.
Shout out Iman Shumpert. Shout out to BD.
The little boy who said he might be on your live. He just sent you a request. Look, he want to come talk shit about what's his name?
Everybody love us.
Yo, bro, y'all gotta respect the real gangsters, man. Ain't no.
Hold on.
I like Yo, Jake Paul, I don't know who you are. I fuck with you, but
the little homie said.
The little homie.
Listen to this.
Oh, nah. Yo, Jake Paul, I don't know.
You can't even come in the contact.
Yo, chill, bro.
Let me rewind this a bit. This was a different video. Jake Paul comes into this.
Yo, who's Jake Paul?
That was just so sick. Who's Jake Paul? Right, so this is the bit. I'll play it from the beginning.
Who's Jake Paul? He got a blue check.
It's a shame, bro.
Look, what is this comment? He's coming.
Who's Jake Paul? He got a blue check.
See, he's like, who's Jake Paul? He's got a blue check, right? So he's a verified user. So he's like,
who is that?
Oh, the little homie said that.
Oh, let me see. Hold on.
He want to talk to you, Bonnie.
Yo, who's Jake Paul?
I don't know. He meant garbage. Like he think he a real rapper. Like he mad button.
Oh, nah. Yo, Jake Paul, I don't know.
You can't even come in the concert.
Yo, chill, man.
I like.
Yo, Jake Paul, I don't know who you are. I fuck with you, but
The little homie said you.
the little homie said you bum. Where the shot right demons at, blood?
So I just found it absolutely hilarious that he comes out with who is Jake Paul, and then some kid. You hear this kid say this. It's absolutely hilarious when what this kid says is the best.
I reckon it's a shame, yo. It's nasty.
Who's Jake Paul? He got a blue check.
He goes, "Who's Jake Paul?" He's got a blue check, and then this kid goes, "That guy weak." Oh god! As soon as he says that guy's weak, I just thought it was just too funny. I was like, "Oh my god, your 10-year-old fans hate you as well." You know, they're calling you weak, and you've got like, how many subscribers does Jake have? Like 10 million or something, and they're still calling you weak, dude. They're still calling you weak, dude. At 10 million, I mean, that's just sad, man. That's just sad. You make it to 10 million.
He don't get lapped the fuck up by Deji.
It's just ridiculous, man. It's just ridiculous. So that was the little fun hype that we get to hear 6ix9ine literally reject Jake Paul. It was just too funny. I had to put it in the podcast because I thought this is a good way to end. So I mean, the thing is, 6ix9ine is massive. Obviously, a lot of people know who he is. And a lot of people want to be on his payroll, as it were, because obviously, if you're rolling with someone like 6ix9ine, a lot of people are gonna follow you because you know him. I mean, Exodus, what's your takeaway from this little Jake Paul 6ix9ine incident?
If people are saying he's weak at 10 million, he's gonna get slapped the fuck up by Deji.
I mean, the thing is, the fight's happening 25th of August. If you guys don't know, 25th of August, Jake Paul and Comedy Shorts Gamer, and also KSI and Logan Paul go head to head on the 25th of August. So that there's going to be a few fights on that night. It's not just going to be those two fights. Those are the two main fights. There's going to be some other smaller fights like they did on the previous fight where KSI had a fight with
Weller.
What's his name? Weller. That's
Joe
it.
Weller.
Joe Weller, and he got smashed up. And if you guys didn't see, I actually broadcasted that reaction live as well. I'm hoping to be broadcasting the Logan KSI fight as well. I'm going to try and get a view so that we can actually watch this shit on the live stream while it's happening. Whether we will be able to or not, I don't know, but hopefully we do. 25th of August, we're going to try and hit this stuff up. That's Saturday, so be sure to join us. I'm going to try and get this sorted so that we can actually watch this live together on the channel. It's going to be pretty big. And obviously you get to see the live reactions from me as we're watching it as well. But I just thought it was hilarious that 6ix9ine said what everybody else is thinking. Irrelevance, and more irrelevance. There's no bigger diss that you could get on social media than from someone like 6ix9ine, where the Paul brothers have been talking about how irrelevant KSI and Comedy Shorts Gamer is. You got someone like 6ix9ine telling you ain't relevant. Dude, that's a big hit. Okay, so if anyone said that to me, 6ix9ine said that to me, dude, I'll delete my channel tomorrow. I'll be like, okay, I'm just going to leave while I'm ahead. I'm going to leave while no one knows who I am. But that's it. That's the story. Exodus, anything you want to add before we sign off?
He got fucking roasted by that 10-year-old.
I just love what that kid said. That kid was just, it was the perfect timing, what that kid said. But that's it. That's today's podcast. That's this week's show done. Thank you very much for joining us today. Big shout out, as always, goes out to Exodus D. Thank you, Exodus, for joining us.
Anytime, bruh.
Joyce, just keeping it lit, keeping it alive for you guys as a regular guest on the show, and always maintaining a pretty steady input. Actually, before we get off the show, Exodus, what's the new job and how is it going? Or have you started yet?
No, I start tomorrow and it's at Macy's.
Oh, Macy's, and he starts tomorrow. If anybody wants to hit up Macy's in California, your boy Exodus will be there to serve you nice and early. Are you on training tomorrow, Exodus, or are you going straight into the deep end?
I start training tomorrow.
Okay, training tomorrow. So go and harass Exodus at his new job in If you live in California, head down to Macy's. Exodus will be there. You can't miss him. He's like 6'9" both ways, so you can't miss him.
Yes.
Right. So that's it. Thank you very much. Thank you for joining us today, as always. Big shout out to all you guys. Thank you very much. Big shout out to the guys over at Twitch. The Twitch viewers literally are smashing it. We had at one point 10 people up in Twitch. Big shout out to everybody for joining us over there, as always. And also over at youtube.com. Not that many people. I'm suspecting this podcast hasn't done very well this week over at YouTube, but hopefully you guys will make it up by watching it. For those of you who are watching it on playback. But that's pretty much it. This is where we're going to end today's show. Big shout out goes out to the sponsors as always. Big shout out to Cinch Gaming, City Kids, not forgetting those infamous people over at Razor.com. Also, not forgetting the T4 Army merch. Grab yourself something awesome before the sale runs out. Tees at 15% off. Also, not forgetting gtrade.com over at twitch.tv and G4G and Streamlabs, keeping it lit, keeping it alive for your boys, for your donations. Those of you who ever donate to the channel, thank you very much. And if you want to donate to the stream, please be sure to hit up G4G or Streamlabs. Links in the description, as always, down below. But until next week's podcast, guys, we'll be back tomorrow. Just to let you guys know, hit up, just in case you guys don't know, we're here Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So Friday is the podcast. Saturday is the GTA 5 PS4 live stream. And Sunday, we hit up on GTA 5 PS3 with some modding money. If you guys want to get into the modded lobbies, you know what you need to do. Leave a like, subscribe if you're over at YouTube, and follow us if you're over at twitch.tv. But we'll be back tomorrow, guys. But until then, guys, as always, stay safe, stay awesome, and peace.